Hi, it's Mr. Hammer. I'm back here with Chapter 9. We're going to talk about integers. What you're going to learn in this chapter are the following. How to use integers to describe real-life situations. How to compare and order integers, and to add and subtract integers. Let's look at a very simple example for how we use integers. Canada has 6 time zones. Here they are: Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern, Atlantic, and Newfoundland time. Here we are in Eastern time, EST. And what time is it where we are now? Well, right here now it's about 6:30 p.m. when I'm recording this. And I want to call a friend in Newfoundland. What time is it there? Well, according to this, if it's 4 o'clock in Eastern time, it's going to be 5:30 in Newfoundland. So I'm going to have to add 1.5 hours to the time now. So it's going to be 8 o'clock in Newfoundland. In the province or territory farthest from you, what might students be doing now? Well, all the way over here in the Yukon Territory, if it's 4 o'clock here in Eastern time, it's going to be 1 o'clock in the Pacific time zone. So that's going to be 3 hours behind. So I'm going to have to subtract 3 hours. They are negative 3 hours from our time here in Eastern time. So it's obviously going to be 3:30 p.m. instead in the Yukon Territory where they have Pacific time. So that's one example how we use integers, where we have positive numbers and negative numbers. So in Newfoundland, it was plus 1.5 hours forward from where we are now. And in Yukon Territory, it was minus 3 hours. Now let's look at some of the key words. Positive number, negative number, integer, positive integer, negative integer, opposite integers, and zero pair. So a positive number is a number greater than 0. A negative number obviously is going to be a number less than 0. An integer. Integers are the entire set of numbers. Negative numbers, positive numbers, and 0. Positive integer, any integer greater than 0. So you can see that a positive integer is similar in many regards to a positive number. And a negative integer, conversely, is an integer less than 0. Again, bears many similarities to negative number. And opposite integers. 2 integers with a sum of 0 are opposite. For example, positive 3 and negative 3 are opposite integers. Any 2 numbers that are opposites and have a sum of 0, so positive 100 and negative 100, if you add them together, you get 0. Any number. So 9999999. 999,999. Well, the opposite to that is going to be 999,999,999 positive. So these are opposite integers. These are opposite integers. And a zero pair. A zero pair is 2 opposite numbers whose sum is equal to 0. So opposite integers are also considered a zero pair, because when you add them together, you get 0. Let's move on to the next section. First section is section 9.1. What is an integer? And one of the most common ways we deal with integers is when talking about temperature. We start with the base temperature of 0, and that's where water freezes. All other temperatures are related to that 0 mark, and we either have a difference that is going to be positive when we get warmer, or a difference that's going to be negative when we get colder. So here's an example of Prince George, 2004, and the temperature was plus 12 degrees Celsius. So the positive 12 is a positive integer. And that 12 represents the difference between 0 and 12. Now we can go negative as well. So inside a freezer, we have a temperature of minus 4. And that's going to be right over here. That's minus 4 degrees Celsius. And that's the difference between 0 and negative 4 going downwards. So this is the Explorer. It's pretty basic. While you're watching this video, why don't you see if you can figure out what the positive or negative number will be for each situation. 8 degrees above 0, 10 degrees below 0, parking 3 levels below ground level, 2 points ahead in a soccer game, and a loss of $16. Take a minute to do that. All right, now let's take a look and see if you got this right. Well, 8 degrees above 0, above means it's going to be positive. So we'll do plus 8 as the positive number to represent that. 10 degrees below 0, so now we're negative, minus 10. Parking 3 levels below ground level, so below meaning negative, so negative 3. 2 points ahead in a soccer game, ahead represents plus, so we'll say plus 2. And a loss of $16, a loss means negative, so it's minus 16. If you got that right, you win, you're the big winner. You got $10 in your pocket now from me if you come to my house and pick it up.